Hello everybody and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting you a link to the Past NMG Tournament 2021. We have Group K for you today. It's Relkin versus shivahaze. Commentating for us we have Dale and Error. Too many R's for me. Say hello everybody.
What's going on? At least both our names got butchered, right?
Yeah,
it's only fair.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it. It's been half my life already, so I got a thick skin when it comes to that by now. How are you doing now?
Doing pretty good. No, it's a little late for you, so how you doing here?
Yeah, still holding strong. It's been a lot of Link to the Past today, but really excited to be able to count the last race of groups. There's still something on the line here, so that's really cool.
Yeah, honestly, I really love this group stage. Normally, group stage feels like two do or die. You know, you play against one person way better than you and you lose. You play against one person worse than you and you win, and it's just like And then the middle one is just you win that and you're in, and you lose it or you're out. But this is great because you just get 3 matches and you get to keep playing.
Yeah, it's competitive. You always get to play more after groups, and it just feels like every race can be won in a sense. And especially with like Link to the Past, like deaths are really easily something that can happen. So even if there's a 2-minute difference in your PB, it can easily happen. So
yeah, I mean the typical death is a minute to 2 minutes, and you can die in pretty much every split. So
yeah, I mean it still happens at the top level. Can confirm that. So this should be a good one, even though there's like I said, like 2.5-minute difference. Both of them have a lot of Link to the Past under their belts. Relkin is mostly a rando player, but has dabbled in NMG a little bit. Like posted his first NMG time like late 2019, and then quickly improved right before the tournament to improve his seeding. Shiva, I think, started mostly with NMG, but definitely has done a lot of rando on the side as well, and has gradually progressed to his 127.
Yeah. And one thing to pay attention to is that Relkin is on emulator, which loses a little bit of time in terms of just like how much in frame rate, basically about 10 seconds or so. But notably, the input delay is like painful.
Yeah,
I can't play emulator. It's ridiculous. You get so used to like the low latency 3-4 frames of either original console or Super NT or even SNES Classic has just a little bit more, but emulator's like 10 frames of input delay.
I don't know how good SNES 9X is nowadays. Like, I've played on SNES 9X for quite a while before I switched over to RetroArch and then later on Super NT. It's just, once you're not used to anything better, it's just what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's really hard to tell that it is more sluggish or whatever. And it's only once you actually make the swap that you notice how big of a difference it is. But yeah, the frame rate is definitely a small thing that does add up over the course of the run. But yeah, it is at this point, it is what you have to deal with.
Yeah. The big thing is that it's going to make reacting to certain RNGs harder. Most of this game is really just reacting to RNG in a way that doesn't lose you much time. And so having that extra little bit of input delay can be tough. I think Escape's the worst about it, though, because we're going to have these dark rooms coming up in a bit here where you have even less time to react. So
yeah, I really see a few more optimizations from Shiva as well when it comes to different guards. Already slashing his sword before entering the green guard room. A little bit handling the boom guard a little bit better as well. So taking an early lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what I know of Randomizer is that you typically don't do escape early. And a lot of times you have not even a sword. If you're coming here, it'll be a different weapon entirely. So you have to know like 20 different strats that you can do at least moderately well. Whereas if you stick to NMG, we only really know the one, right? So you don't kind of mess that up as much.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, what I lately typically find from other players is that the dark world is actually a lot better than the light world, but it is because you're not used to like having to do lamos with bow and arrow, you don't know like the typical overworld movements as much
Mm-hmm.
because they're a lot more streamlined than like the more doing everything very how do you say that, optimized,
Mm-hmm.
like doing all the checks at once.
I mean, there's some screens that you never even see in Randomizer because you can save and quit. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's a big thing as well.
yeah, we don't allow save and quit here because we just think it's more fun. That's what it boils down to. But it does mean we have a lot of overworld to traverse, which is certainly kind of really one of the things that separates strong players from weaker players, but also one thing that's noticeable between NMG players and Randomizer players.
Yeah, that's gonna be something that we'll probably just see small differences between the runners over the course of the run.
And then as far as I know, you never see these dark rooms in Escape and Randomizer because you can get to the back through a different path entirely, which is always faster. So,
well, there are modes where you actually do escape at the start, but like the more recent popular modes, like start with the boots. So, like, there's still different strats anyway. But yeah, there's definitely some random specific skill sets, just like there are NMG specific skill sets, and just like, have to see how much they can overlap.
Oh, Shiva didn't quite manipulate that bat the way he wanted to. You want to move up away from the wall, but you do it when the bat's kind of not in your cone of vision anymore. So you can be a little bit early sometimes and mess it up. So that is one of the few enemies in the game that actually can manip what they do. Kind of wish we could manip the rats because it'd be nice to get that good key rat that Relkin got every time.
That saves a bunch of time. Early slash there from Relkin. Well, good reaction there, though. So I'm gonna be about a room difference, like 5-6 seconds.
Oh, getting the text box.
Oh, you hate to see it.
It's so wild to me that the text box is still there even after you've pulled the lever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you saw both of them kind of walk right out of the door. Unfortunately, Shiva got hit into the text box. For whatever reason, the hitbox of that text box, or the trigger, doesn't extend all the way up to the wall. So if you hug the top wall, you won't get it. But then kind of just like in the middle of the screen, Zelda will talk to you. So if you get bopped by a rat, you'll see it sometimes.
Yeah, it's double punishing. Alright, so now we have Walking Simulator Part 2. After this, we'll get our boots. But Eastern is, in a way, it's a continuation, but there's a lot more interesting rooms in Eastern. It feels like where in Escape you mostly react to RNG and try to mitigate time losses. In Eastern, you really start doing strats for rooms.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Eastern is just like, Escape's all about like not losing time, and Eastern's about trying to do things fast. Which maybe it doesn't look that way because we're just walking everywhere still, but especially a couple of the rooms with tech, like the Stalfos room that we'll see early on, and then the big key damage boost as well. Those rooms are rooms that are just really fun to do fast.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's still going to be a few rooms where you have to react to RNG, like the Dark Key room and ZGR room.
Or this cannonball room that we're going to see in about 2 screens. But, I mean, we've talked about reacting to RNG a lot of the time. The reality is, in most cases, the difference between good RNG and bad RNG is less than a second. It's just that you have to know all of them. So when you see bad RNG, it stands out to you. You're like, man, this game sucks.
Yeah, it can definitely be rude, especially once it's room after room after room.
Pretty nicely done there.
Yeah, for sure. Relkin as well.
Looks like we saw a few more diagonals out of relkin there, which is going to save just a couple of frames. I mean, that really is the name of this game. Save 5 frames here, 10 frames there.
Yeah, and it just all adds up. And yeah, when playing the game, you just over time learn how to move Link properly, or like better rather. And it's not a lot of the time that you just learn
nice
a new
red.
strat. Oh, that's gonna be real good. No rupees yet from Relkin. But I found that in this game, it's like golds come like by seconds or like fractions of a second, and not like, oh, oops, I suddenly got a 10-second goal because I learned a new strat or something. And that's really what NMG is all about, like a gradual gains of skill.
Pretty nicely done there. Okay, yeah, nervous about that. Oh
no, that's real rough.
okay, gonna kill the enemies here, which is the intended strat. Gonna have to be careful when these anti-fairies come off the switch, because they're gonna come flying off this switch. Yeah, okay.
Well, we live. That's good. But half a heart is less than stellar.
Okay. At least they're all at the bottom of the screen and we can get out. Okay. Okay, we're fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Broken. His first hit into the Popo there, instead of sending him down and to the left towards where he wanted to go, it just sent him straight down, which didn't give him enough time to keep the iframes onto the switch there, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, especially even with grabbing the backup hearts, not being able to hit the switch, having to kill all the enemies, that's real rough. Oh, here he's also getting red rupee there. That's awesome.
Okay. I don't like that last slash at the end. It slows you down enough. Oh, okay. That. I feel like the green Igor is gonna just chase you down and kill you, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I held my breath there for a little bit. Shiva had a really nice Eastern, by the way. Like, was paying a lot of attention to whether Rock or not survived. Like, so I was real close to gold.
Yeah, that was a good Eastern. And leaving Eastern with 7 arrows, pretty typical. We'd like a few more, but we're not going to complain about 7.
Yeah, it's like between 6 and 12 is pretty standard. Because Rogan had to kill the Igor in the big key room, he got an arrow drop there, and then also cycled through the heart and the second arrow drop. So he's actually going to have potentially a 10 drop in the Mimic's room in pod. So he might be loaded.
It does depend on his strategy a little bit, but he could also just pick it up if he wanted to. Even if it's out of the way. I've considered it sometimes.
Yeah, it's like a second, a little bit more, but maybe I can farm gold in GT.
That's exactly what it is. But yeah, we've got boots. We're gonna dash. Looks like Shiva's got a huge lead because he's so many screens ahead, but it's just because he's going so fast now. We'll see if Rel can kind of get through these screens pretty quickly.
It looks about 30-something seconds. It's definitely quite a big gap this early on, but it's not insurmountable by any means.
No. I mean, how often do you lose 30 seconds to Landmo? Not much anymore, but how many did you before?
Back in the day, definitely.
And it's also a boss that just like, sometimes you get a 6 cycle because they refuse to long hop, and you just can't hit them.
Yeah. And sometimes you just get punished, like shoot an arrow just a little bit too early or too late, and then he short hops and you can't recover from it, and then it's like, oh, there's another 6 seconds.
Yeah, you miss 1 arrow and miss out on hitting 6. It's really frustrating.
Good overall from both of them so far. And the good lines.
Oh, yeah. just a little bit low on the stairs. Spin speed's kind of an interesting state. You have to be like touching the stairs for exactly 1 pixel, but also if you're already on them, it's different. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that happens.
Well, that's a really safe dash, but the guard almost hit him. That's kind of silly.
The water dash. Oh, he did the perfect dash through the in between the bushes. That's actually faster. That's ridiculous. Sadly, not the newly patented torch bomb from you.
Look, from all the testing I did in that room, every strat is literally the same. Just do whatever you want. Nice popos there. When the beamo shoots at you, it means you could have done the room a little bit faster, but if you don't get hit, it means you were fast enough. So.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Just stuttered a little bit there. Got sniped by the beamos.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, that's actually a big reason why in certain rooms where it's like slightly faster to dash, you'll often see people walk. Is one, it's just more consistent. It's really hard to stop your dash on the correct pixel every time. So in rooms where dashing is maybe 2 or 3 frames faster, you won't really see people go for dashes very often.
Yeah, because sometimes you just walk so far into the room before you dash that you actually lose time. It is sometimes harder to cut off the dash properly. But there's quite a few reasons to just go for the consistent approach in that sense. Rogan's gonna have a nice, comfy, free arrows. Both of them have a really solid rupee count as well. Won't have to worry about that at all.
Yeah, and tree rupees are like the one thing I'm always like a little surprised by how many people do it. Because it doesn't save that much time. I guess a lot of the time we feel like, oh, we're fighting for seconds in this game. But the reality is you play this game fast by doing it consistently and doing it just a little bit better than last time, right?
Yeah. Alright. Because of the gap, we're going to be able to watch both runners. This Lamos pretty much. So that's nice.
I'm in a bit of trouble with that pole room. That's an unfortunate first cycle there.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough.
Oh.
Well, that was a good first cycle there. Ooh, that snipe.
That slash got 2 of them.
Yeah, considering the first cycle, being able to clean it up with a 5 is actually really good.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. First cycle is just the most consistent cycle in terms of how much damage you can put out, and the other ones you're reacting a lot to what they do. So when the first cycle goes wrong, typically the rest of the fight does as well.
Yeah, we kind of have the same thing from relkin here. Only 1 arrow in the first cycle, but does manage to actually get a solid amount of hits in later on.
Yeah, playing real patient on this fight, which is like surprisingly really good too, because whiffing arrows is just so bad that a lot of times you want to be, make sure the arrow hits more than just firing them.
Yeah. That was real good, considering first cycle both ending up on the 5. No complaints at all, I guess.
Yeah, now we're off to Death Mountain, which we hope does not live up to its name today.
Yeah, we've had a few incidents so far this tourney on Death Mountain and the dungeon.
None of them are fun. Yeah, boulders, dead rocks, everything just gets in your way. It all moves in the middle of cutscenes too, so you're like, "Hey, I'm in a good spot," and then a dead rock lands right on top of you, or two boulders are blocking your path, and there was nothing you could do.
Even the fake flipper section can be scary. Shiva had Azora like almost on the portal, but he got into it quick enough. But that was a little bit of a clench as well. Yeah, so far it all looks comfy on Shiva's side. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Uh-oh. Did we get it?
No.
No. Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, it was pretty friendly.
It could have been worse.
You could even say that he was built out a little bit, but but we take those. Oh, nice menu as well. Being able to walk into the quick warp pixel.
Honestly, as much as like the first little bit of Death Mountain here is scary because of the dead rocks, good slash there, and because of these boulders that sometimes just hit you coming out of your cutscene here, getting off the stairs with spin speed like makes or breaks this screen.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. Whew.
Not sure what was going on there, but
Oh, we're seeing boom strats here. These are a little bit faster. I think maybe like 40 frames faster than opting not to use the boomerang. They're a little bit tougher, in my opinion. But they look cool.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he's using the boomerang mostly to have like a clean hit on the next room, so that he doesn't have to walk to the switch and hit it and risk getting hit by the mini molder. Typically, you would see people try to do a boom dash here, and that already raises the pegs, so you can just do 2 dashes in the next room and like almost having guaranteed save room. This is probably a little slower than not menuing to the boom at all, but it's a good safety thing if you don't want to do the boom dash.
Yeah, seems pretty safe. If you do have to walk up to that switch, sometimes the Moldorm that's not caged will just hit you. We are seeing a pot spin speed attempt. We're getting it.
Yoho would be proud.
Not like there's much else to do in this room.
Seen a surprising amount of this tournament actually. Between Yoho, Kyong, and relkin now. That's 2 more than I expected to see. Here we see exactly the reason why you probably saw Shiva use the boom in that mini molder room there. relkin took 2 hits there. It can be surprisingly tricky to get through that room unscathed.
Nice bomb jump from Shiva there, slashing his sword a few times to help time when to bonk. Since you do want to be in the air when the bomb explodes, so you need to start your dash at a consistent time.
Alright, Moldorm. Yeah, really tricky boss, especially with the lack of equipment that we have. It can be somewhat predictable, but also really tough if things go off the rails. Oh, yeah, vertical dashes are...
Moldorm is predictable in that Moldorm has an AI. Except the AI is do random stuff for 2 seconds and then charge at Link. So...
Yeah, so this goes probably a little more in-depth than we need to, I guess. I found that if you have a really solid 5 hits, the 6th hit Moldorm will go to you like exactly when you want him to.
It does depend a little bit, because do you dash into the arena or do you do the side hop?
I do the side hop.
Oh, okay. So when you dash, that's not true because Moldorm's not like loaded if you're far enough away from him. So it kind of like delays the AI a little bit. But
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, with
I
the side
didn't
hop,
think of that.
Moldorm's patterns are more consistent if the fight goes well. But it's also scarier to get into the arena. So
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
but
So now
we're
it gets-
through Hera. Like, no
Yeah.
disasters. This is all you're asking for, right? We do see a gold on Relkin's side as well. So that's
Very
really
casual
tough.
during tourney race. We saw the start of the 3 rupee strats on Shiva's side as well. Over the course of the run until now, we killed 4 or more enemies and took a hit. Or some more.
At least one.
Yeah, at least
But
one.
not 256, which would reset the counter back to 0.
Man, imagine that being optimal.
Technically, with RAM prep, you could do it because you could like start the counter at like 254 or something, and between the damage boost and the bomb jump, like take it back over to 256. But that would be RAM prep and also taking no unintentional hits in Light World, which is like never gonna happen.
That's pretty cosmic brain, not gonna lie.
Shiva opting to spin that bird right there. You do need to kill 4 enemies before pulling the second tree. That bird can be a little bit tricky to kill because you want to be in the log when you do it, so you have to kind of use cues that aren't Link, which is like
edges of the screen.
Yeah. It's also just weird. At least for me, I find a lot of the time my eyes are focused on Link, so the few times that you're not focused on Link, it's definitely stranger, right?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And just the spin gives a longer lasting hurt box so that it's more likely to kill a bird. You're not going to accidentally hit it with beams or anything, so it does in fact die.
Rao can actually try to go for the bird dash. That's not something you typically see.
The bird dash is... we're going to do... Oh, we already killed 4. Okay.
I was really worried.
So was I.
So I guess he just dashed lane? I guess? I don't know.
I have to go back and see what 4 enemies he killed.
Yeah, maybe bird, pickle, bird, bush crab? I guess? Not sure.
Bird and pickle? I could see it. Bird snipe and pickle snipe. That's probably just a little bit slower, and more importantly, it uses more arrows. Which, pickle snipe already is something that people don't go for because the pickle avoids you, and you waste arrows.
Oh, dang, that's a shame. Shiva had a really good dark maze and then got hit twice afterwards. Speaking of arrows...
Yeah, definitely a little bit... Oh! Okay, heart drop is not good.
That's... You hate to see it. There's still a 50-50 chance that he'll have the fairy for Turtle Rock. He didn't pick up the mushroom either, did he? No, he didn't.
I didn't see it, no.
So he doesn't have, like, potential fake powder backup.
That's a little bit unfortunate on Shiva's side. Just barely missed a double spin on that top red spear guard. When you don't aggro them with either the boomerang or with sword beams, they're like more frame rule dependent, I guess. And so you can get weirder aggro patterns, and got a kind of an unfortunate one there, which is just hard to deal with.
Alright. Okay, let's key dash. Alright. Well, I'm getting my fair share of heart attacks this run, so... Okay, recognizing that he doesn't have enough arrows. So that's good, at least.
Yeah, we do want 6 at minimum for Palace of Darkness, which is the first Dark World dungeon here. Yeah, and you can see with the aggroing with the boomerang is just a little bit easier. But then you don't have a menu to kind of read the RNG and circle of pots there, so it's definitely runner preference.
Alright, so now we get to the Aghanim fight, which is all RNG. So each runner can get between 1 and 15 balls. Yeah, most average or most common is free.
It is both the most common and the average, yes.
Quick maps. So relkin has his sword out already, but if you have your sword out, then the boomerang doesn't have an animation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the clings on the door because he was facing right. Oh, nice map. Just gotta check where you are sometimes. Well, I think the start of Shiva's fight was really good, and then he got a few more blue balls in the end.
He's very classic Aghanim.
Average free then.
3. I mean, you'll take 3. 3 is definitely a little frustrating if you're going for PB attempts or something, just because you get the extra lightning cycle here. You see that right now on Relkin's side. But in a race, like, at least it's not 7.
At least it's not 7.
Or the most I've seen so far this tournament is 11, which is... I think we've only had that once, which is actually below what we would expect. So we're getting slightly better than average in worst case scenarios in the Aghanim fight.
Amazing.
So that...
Actually, I forgot to split. It was like 30-16 or something. Pretty far away.
Here's a little bit ahead.
Oh, relkin is getting really unlucky though. I think that's 6 already? Yeah, that looked like 6.
Yeah. These are the ones that you're like, man, who designed this boss? Alright, message to Nintendo. Stop making bosses that can only be counterattacked. Thank you. I realize this is 3 years too late.
RNG patterns, but yes.
I realize it's 30 years late, but they still do it today. So, like, come on.
It's an interesting design. Oh, forgot to split. Relkin decided to just split a few seconds late to farm a pot gold. I would probably do the same.
It doesn't bother me too much when people miss splits, because I miss splits sometimes, but I really do appreciate the detailed timer. I don't want to do math in the middle of a speedrun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's the arrow drop. Oh, and getting hit. Yeah, so if you slash there and then quick hop off the ledge, the slash makes you too slow and the quick hop makes you too fast. So you get hit by the fireball. It's really frustrating.
Yeah. Lucky there's 3 pots with hearts that we're able to get before the mimics, and you really want to... Oh! Okay. Oh, no! Yeah. So now... Thanks for proving my point, you. Now we need to get a little bit lucky from the mini helmet. So whereas Relkin really doesn't want to see the drop from the mini helmet on Hammer Jump, Shiva really wants to see the heart, because otherwise he's probably not going to have beams, depending on the drops that he got in Eastern.
Let's see, with 7... I'm trying
okay,
to...
well, now he's going to need both, so...
And it's not often that going out of your way for drops is worth it. But in this case, going a little bit out of your way for extra health is definitely worth it, because it'll make you healthier for the boss. And It'll save you 2 menus, which is really nice. So you can afford to lose almost 2.5 seconds out of your way.
A few extra buffers. Okay, he got there. And it's still a lot better than not doing hammer jump at all. So it's
Now,
a really tough trick when it comes to tourney races.
I was kind of hoping the Kadongo would fire down, and then you could just take a death warp.
I guess
I feel like that's almost safer at this point.
Yeah.
But the Kadongo only fires down when it's going to lose you time, not when it would ever help.
An archery contest.
That's like surprisingly narrow. It looks like you have plenty of space to shoot that arrow, but it's only a few pixels, so pretty easy to just get slightly off. Oh no, there's the fairy.
Oh. Oh no, was it too far away?
Pixel too high?
Either, yeah, maybe. Oh, that's pretty rough.
It might have been high.
Yeah, it's either that or too far away from. Yeah, if you're too far away from the bomb. I'm not sure if that has like the same effect, like visually.
Okay, second try. This is also going to put Relkin in kind of a dangerous health situation. I don't think... No, Relkin could get the heart if all 3 mimics drop.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a 1 in 8, so pretty unlikely. Okay, turtles going fine. Which are one of the... A room where we kind of wish we could manip what they do, because they just do their own thing.
Yeah, they have this one weird flip where they just hack off to the opposite direction for no good reason.
Okay, we're not seeing spin speed helmet here. Totally reasonable. Probably seen a lot of it if you've watched this tournament because it is pretty safe. It gives you a lot of extra range on the hammer hitbox. But if you're not comfortable getting spin speed, especially in the middle of a boss fight, it's not really worth going for. Not the friendliest patterns from Helmsword here, but we're almost done with the fight. One more slash? Yep.
Yeah, okay. Nice and safe. Managed to survive. Probably knows he has a solid lead, so...
And yeah, we can see those extra menus here as well on Relkin's side. Normally you'd be able to beam that crystal switch, so save 2 menus. And you also get to do a little bit better movement to save a little bit of time, but... What's a few frames when we're talking about dying?
Yeah, a few frames or a few minutes. I mean, only a few factors away.
Now that Eri has been schooled on the ways of crystal catching, he can tell us how much time it saves over the whole run.
Like 30 frames max or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's like, okay, don't, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Cool.
I think it's less than a second between best case or best catch and worst catch. Or maybe a little bit more than a second, but you have to work to get the worst catch, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad that we made it out of pod without major incidents.
Yeah, only a couple of moderate instances.
Yeah, I mean, we take those. We take those.
Tourney race, didn't die. That's good enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a good race when that happens.
How many? I've done my 3 matches in this tournament, and I died in 2 of them. How many did you die in, Eri?
2 as well, I think.
It's just hard to not die in this video game.
I think like once I died after Tile Room.
Yeah.
And once I died to Ganon.
Okay, so did you at least get the key after Tile Room?
Nope.
That's pretty punishing. Just on your mental state, right? Time-wise, it's no worse than a lot of other deaths, but sitting through Tile Room twice.
Yeah, it's not great. At least I had apathy in the call to calm me down.
And I will say that's like also one of the very difficult things about this game is just like not letting bad RNG or mistakes get to you, because like like this, sometimes they kind of compound a little bit, right? So you want to just try to keep it as steady as you can.
Yeah, often, especially in races like this, stuff happens that you actually just haven't seen before. And in that case, like reacting to it properly and not panicking is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I think actually,
the situation. Oof.
I think rando players are actually really good at that compared to NMG runners. Just because like NMG runners, you know, you see the same 6 things over and over, right? So you know what to do when those 6 things happen. But yeah, getting the health refill there, that's pretty good when you're down 3.5 hearts going into the dungeon.
Yeah, especially in this setting, again, just recommend playing safe, making sure that you're actually just getting through the splits.
Mm-hmm. But Thieves is like generally not dangerous, but all it would take on 4.5 hearts is like the first red Zazek's in your way and you jump on him, and then Hellway goes bad. Right?
Yeah, and you just get frame ruled by a cricket or something on the way out of the attic.
But here on 7.5 or 8, you know, you take 6 hearts of damage, which does happen occasionally, and you're still okay. You at least make it to the basement, can get some health back.
Blind scripted fight, all that. Never take damage there, right?
Nope, never died there either.
No. Especially not in a tourney race. Especially not in the finals of a tourney race. Twice.
Oh, using the hammer menu there, which does make the screen... Oh, okay. Normally that red Zazek would die in 2 hits, but the second slash was just a little bit too early, so the Zazek actually still had iframes, and then Shiva poked it, so it did half damage.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too, is a lot of times in this game, there's 2 ways to fail something, either by being too early or too late. And one of them is super punishing. You lose health, you die, you lose 10 seconds. And the other one is you lose 6 frames. So, like, a lot of times you'll see the safer option, even though we might talk about optimizing this or optimizing that, but we're really trying to avoid disasters more than anything.
In the end, consistency is king. Okay, nice attic RNG there. So,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, you been hit by the Zazek? No. All right, so maybe Thieves isn't as safe as I said it was. Maybe I'm just a liar. I don't know. But yeah, leaving that attic, don't walk out of the door, because the crickets are gonna move before you do, and so if you're out of the door, they have a higher chance of hitting you. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh. Still on an okay health count? Oh, okay.
As long as we don't get frame ruled, we're gonna be okay. Right?
Yeah. So this race actually still matters when it comes to how brackets are going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
So if relkin wins, he gets a bye in brackets and will face the winner of Rywek versus probably Clad, but don't quote me on any of this.
We were trying to figure this out earlier, and all we came to the conclusion was that Boyne's bracket is too confusing. That was really close to hitting relkin.
Yeah. And then if Shiva wins, we're going to need Boyne to quickly show us all the math on stream. Who wins the 3-person tiebreaker and all that. Very nice blind fight.
Okay, I was nervous about that dash. Thought he was going to get bopped by the blue Zazik.
I don't understand how people like cancel that dash so well. It's a mystery to me. Hey!
And I didn't see it on Shiva's side, but leaving the big chest room before the tile falls means you did the room really well. So good job on relkin's side there.
Yeah, very nice. All right. $44.31. I think Shiva's side. Is it gonna be like?
Yeah, 44-31.
About a minute. Very nice fight as well.
Mm-hmm. And legitimately, yes, there are different scripts. Everybody does the fight like just a little bit differently. In particular, like I hold up left on the 7th hit, which whenever I tell people that, they are like, really? It's like, yeah, just hold it up to the corner. But, you know, as with anything else, if it works, keep doing it. And if it doesn't, maybe take a second look at it.
Yep. And sometimes things just go wrong for once, and it's just, you have a slightly different input, and it's okay. If stuff starts going consistently off the rails, then yeah.
And yeah, so here we're picking up the Tempered Sword, which surprisingly doesn't save that much time, actually.
Yeah, so in the end, it's probably like
20 seconds.
Yeah, but it makes fights a lot more consistent.
It makes the game easy, too.
Yeah.
Well, easier. It's still hard.
Yeah. I mean, most things will die in a hit aside from bosses. But you're pretty much still a glass cannon as Link, even though we have to pick up every heart in the game. Or, like, every boss container. You just still die so quickly.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, if you've watched low percent runs of this game, a good low percent run will enter phase 4 Ganon before a tempered fight does. It's kind of silly, actually. Almost all of the time save is just on the Ganon fight.
Yeah, it's a long one. Oh, that's... You hate to see that.
The one pixel bonk.
Rubber bushes. Oh, I think Shiva could have gotten the bomb up there, but he has plenty. That's...
Yeah, that's enough.
What did he had? Oh no, he didn't fill the bomb jump. I think. Well, they both actually have a pretty solid bomb count.
Relkin won't have any spares for Ice Palace, unless he gets a drop on the way.
He'll have 4 after Skullwoods, right? So that's 1 spare. I'm not sure when he does his errands though. Oh no, again!
Wait, no, you're right. He'll have 4. Yeah. He'll have 1 extra. Shiva will have 2 for Ice Palace.
Whoa, that was so well timed. I thought it was going to be too early.
Okay, since he took the extra hit there, opting to bonk over to save his health. We'll need to slash here. Please remember. What? You can walk out without getting hit?
This is news to me as well.
Get those arrows. Yes, nice.
Very nice arrow kind from relkin.
You know, why does that mummy load in from the room above? It's so frustrating.
It's awful.
Yeah, so here, most of the enemies do 2 hearts at this point. Okay, she was getting a little bit of health here as well.
Nice. Nice bomb pickup. Oh, okay. He's playing really safe.
Yeah, maybe, you know, is still thinking about the weekly from earlier today. But yeah, there does come a point where you're playing too safe because now you're not doing your strats, right? And you haven't practiced stuff. But you gotta play really darn safe to be playing too safe in this game.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, relkin is taking quite a few hits here.
Moth fight there.
Yeah. Okay. But it's like he didn't really like lose any time because of like strats going wrong. He fell one time to the bomb jump, just setting it up. But like he lost like more than 10 seconds just trying to grab extra health and doing extra safe strats. So that it just adds up so quickly. And if relkin just has a good back here, he actually, you know, saves quite a bit of time over Shiva.
That's definitely for sure. But a lot comes down to this moth fight. If it behaves like going to the corner when the conveyors when the conveyors are going sideways is always tough to deal with, especially when the conveyors going against moth, which is what we saw there.
Yeah, really well handled. Like only 2 spikes started to move, so we call that an 8 out of 10 fight. That's definitely more than solid.
And the runners haven't made us nervous enough yet, so here's Ice Palace. Nothing ever goes wrong in Ice Palace.
Yeah, no, of course. I think we had like 2 simultaneous forfeits in the weekly because of Ice Palace, but not only is it like technically a pretty rough split with a lot of precise movements, there's also just RNG that can just inflict hits on you, and you really want to have beams for most of Ice Palace, all the way until Ice Palace bomb jump, which is probably like the most important thing.
With his shield?
He did.
I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Like you were saying.
Yeah, so we really want to make sure we have beams going into Ice Palace. There's just so many different enemies that spawn, and like depending on your movement and a little bit of RNG, like all these fireballs can get in the way. It's like not only is it a really rough overworld, but like the inside of Ice Palace is also just riddled with RNG and hard rooms. And yeah, if you take a few too many hits, then you don't have any buffer left for Cold Stir, and if Cold Stir hits you, you lose 4 hearts of them of health.
Yeah. We've only got 10. So we're gonna intentionally take at least 1 but probably 3 hearts of damage in the dungeon. So
there's like 1 forced heart pickup on the way, and that's about it.
Yeah. Every other heart in the dungeon is minutes away from us. So like you don't get any safeties here.
But now you already start seeing the RNG.
Okay. Oh, in the portal.
Okay, he's up there.
You're getting the bomb. Going for a swim to get, but
Meanwhile, relkin got another golden skull, by the way. So that's that was some good splits.
this is one of those rooms that we want beams for. Ice 2 right here. Sometimes the jelly with the key will spark, and you really don't want to wait for it. But beams will take care of that no matter what.
Yeah, and they stay electrified for a surprisingly long time.
2 seconds or something? It's forever.
Yeah, I think it's frame rule dependent or something, or like time, like RNG dependent. Sometimes I swear it's longer than 2 seconds.
Yeah, and you can see just how much easier that screen is when the enemies aren't in your way on Relkin's side.
Okay.
Okay.
That's nice.
Not sure how we stuck under the second berry there, but we did.
There it goes.
Oh, that was like 2 frames too early.
Oh, dang, didn't face right into the spike. Oh. So yeah, there we have it. It's like just a few extra hits, and we already lost like a little bit of a buffer against Cold Stare.
I think unless we take another hit, it shouldn't affect the amount of hits we can take against Cold Stare. It's just 1, right? It's always just 1.
Yeah, I guess.
Getting through pen gators nicely. That room is tricky.
Yeah, if you try to optimize it too much, you just risk missing a pen gator, and then you lose more time than it's worth. I think there's a surprising amount of time that you can gain by doing like harder strats or like tighter movement, but okay, Relkin just playing it safe.
Yeah, and we see Relkin. The reason we saw both of them take the damage boost there is because there's a 1 pixel lineup that's surrounded by spikes on all sides. So if you take the damage boost, you get the lineup, or you can line yourself up for free, which speeds up the room tremendously.
I actually really like that Relkin used menu buffers for IPBJ. You never see it.
No, you really don't. 6 slash. Okay. 6 slash is a little bit scary sometimes because you kind of saw the 3 pups there separating a little bit. If they separate much more than they did right there, sometimes you just get hit and you lose it. So you got to be careful.
That was a real solid last battle from Shiva.
Oh yeah, I mean, nothing huge went wrong or anything like that. You got to be happy with it. Oh, going above the berry here in ice. That's a little bit dangerous, actually. The berry can move up pretty quickly sometimes and hit you if you're not aware. But we're through it, no problem.
Alright.
Uh-oh. This is the problem with poke dashes, though, is that they're difficult to execute. Just barely didn't hold... Oh. Okay. Ooh. Just barely didn't hold that poke dash long enough, probably only 2 or 3 frames short of what he needed to do. And it's especially awkward because you're trying to poke dash 3 separate Cold Stares, and so it's kind of frame rule dependent, actually, which is really obnoxious, but that's the game.
Yeah. What, frame rule dependent or obnoxious?
Both.
Okay, so Shiva does only Ether right now. Looks from Relkin split that he goes straight to Swamp after this. So we're going to see them converge for a little bit, but Shiva will still have to lead because he already has Ether.
Yeah, and it looks to be about 1:10 difference between them right now, so nothing too huge.
Yeah, there was. I think the time gain from Shiva was mostly from the Cold Stare party because, like, other than that, we're all kind of really clean ice palace.
Oh. Maybe we just can't do math on stream. It's cursed.
But it's like around 58, and his swamp says 105. That's 7 minutes difference.
It could also just be a tournament strat.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe really doesn't want to die in Mire. Makes sense. Okay, never looking at splits again.
Now we'll see if he opts for Ice Rod here. You can get it before Swamp. I don't like it because the menus are awful and you don't always have a bomb, so it's weird, but if you're thinking about it, you know.
Really don't want to take damage for the two most dangerous dungeons. Straight Swamp it is.
No.
Okay, well, friendly relkin, making sure that the lead that Shiva has actually looks appropriate right now.
Now I've got to say, I thought I was pretty good at Swamp, but you just had a huge gold in this dungeon, so I apparently don't know what I'm doing.
Well, turns out that the gold that I got was because of an Argus interaction that I still have no idea what I did. Apparently I was just really fast on Argus. And I randomly saved 70 frames on the cutscene.
Well,
nobody has figured out either. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
But yeah, that's Swamp for you. Nobody knows what's going on, but sometimes we kind of do it not too slowly.
Yeah. You just, it's like, I like to call Swamp like the Dark World escape. Because you just react to RNG everywhere, hope to not get screwed over by RNG, and take hits everywhere.
Yeah, and a lot of these rooms, kind of the way that you move through them optimally is not very obvious.
Especially because there's like some water movement that's actually kind of tricky. Dash lines, walking lines, hammer dashes, like all the optimal things are also don't always seem great.
Yeah, definitely a tricky dungeon. One that we don't really expect to see in general too much time gain or loss, as well as it's not a very risky dungeon. You're very rarely going to die. Although I think at least everybody has died to Argus, a couple of times.
Yeah. This is like one of the few places that you actually swim, and swimming is really hard.
Yeah. Especially like the last room that we're gonna swim in, if you touch the wall at all, you lose like a full second. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Pretty clean switch release from relkin there, by the way. Getting off the switch cleanly there is, or the lever, it's actually really tricky. But we get our hook shot, and like, to me, it's one of the most fun items in the game.
It's either the hookshot or the bow, right?
Yeah. Aside from the boots. But, I mean, I guess that's a given.
The best Y item.
Okay.
Hookshot is just so cool. I wish we had more opportunities to use it.
Yeah, agreed. So Shiva pick up some more arrows here. He needs a minimum of 16-ish. But
yeah.
You want like 18, 23 in order to have like a comfortable level that you don't have to do like different strats in GT to pick up arrows.
Skipping those, unless she was comfortable getting the 10 arrow chest in GT, probably not the greatest of plays here. But if you are comfortable with the 10 arrow chest in GT, you can skip a lot of arrows, actually.
Guess so. Missed the item dash there. Do you want to explain Zero Cycle Argus?
Well, let's see. You item dash with your sword out, which is very fun to press 3 buttons at the same time and hold one of them down. And then you have a limited amount of time that you can repress Y to continue to hook without losing kind of your glitch sword state, where the sword does full damage despite just being held out in front of you. So, pretty tight timing, and there are 11, 13, I forget, puffs, and you have to get all of them. And Argus is charging you, so you're also moving and navigating. You have to grab them in a particular order, so it's pretty involved.
Pretty tough. It's 13 puffs. You have a 4-frame window, so it's a rehook. It's hard. It's probably the hardest boss fight to optimize, I guess.
And also, sometimes Argus moves too fast and you can't actually get it.
Yeah, that's true as well. Oh, relkin is going for it as well.
Oh,
dang.
I think he would have had it.
Yeah, that was real good.
The upside for it is that as difficult as it is, if you're comfortable, like, kind of, after you mess up, finishing it off in just whatever way, you don't lose any time for going for it, which is kind of rare for strats in this game.
Yeah. Because it's based on a cycle, if you manage to clean it up before that cycle ends, then you're going to be, just as fine as you would otherwise.
And yeah, so here we're seeing Meyer. Just earlier today, I did this dungeon. I came in down 1 heart and couldn't figure out how to do the second room in the dungeon. So way easier coming in on full health here. We're going to hope both runners do an excellent job here with this.
It's a tricky room to optimize as well. Actually, going for the fast marks.
Ooh, almost.
Clean up there. It's only a few seconds. Yeah, I'm not sure if I will always go for the fast strat there. It's just so hard, and it feels so bad when you miss it.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of times we've said that your strats kind of don't matter too much, and it's like a lot of them are, hey, you can do something that's literally 8 times as hard to save 10 frames, or you can just do the easy strat, right?
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is, I guess.
And it's like the problem with the easy strat most of the time is that it's a little bit less consistent because you're usually giving enemies more time to move, let RNG take more of a play here. But it is very difficult to get strats consistent, especially optimal ones.
Yeah, there's the more, I guess, not necessarily more standard, but like the second most optimal way.
Yeah, I would probably just call it simpler, really.
Yeah. It's a little bit more dependent on RNG because you let the bottom popo live for longer, so it can move out of the way.
Right. And the advantage of the strat Shiva did was you don't give any of the enemies an opportunity to move before you've defeated them. But the timing on the Wizrobes is super tight, and the Wizrobes are kind of the limiting factor most of the time in that room. And also, Shiva got 4 bombs, so now we get... Oh,
we hate to see that.
So that's pretty unlikely. Bomb slug going left, stopping directly underneath you, and then also walking up. I don't know the exact probabilities or anything, but I think walking up is either 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. I don't know if they can walk in the same direction twice in a row. But they do 4 hearts of damage, and we're going to want to take at least 7 more hearts worth of damage in this dungeon. So it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, there's going to be 1 heart on the way to the basement, so technically relkin will be fine.
Also, stop and kill the Wizrobe. Maybe it gives you a heart as well. So probably okay on health, but it is definitely kind of in that danger zone here.
Yeah, and then you start getting in the territory where you start playing differently because... Okay.
Yeah, okay. If you normally do the Spark Gamble, which was the strat we saw on Shiva's side, and then dash down like that, you'll always get hit by that Spark. Because it's not loaded in when you start your dash. So what you have to do is you have to walk down a little bit before starting the dash, so that doesn't happen. Okay. Now that is something I see rando players do a lot, which is hook that pot to get the switch. That's actually bad. It makes your iframes take a little longer to activate, so you kind of give the enemies in the room more opportunity to move around. In particular, the BMOS can hit you. They do that chest afterwards because it's faster. It's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, because you have to go for the room anyway.
But yeah, on 5 hearts here, we're probably going to see slightly different strats in Vitreous. Unless you're super comfortable doing 4 heart Vidi, which I'm not sure I would ever... like, if the runs do or die, I'm not sure I would go for it.
Yeah, it's... even just a little bit of rough movement can make you take an extra hit in the slime. And
yeah, I'd probably just go for 2 big spins here, but... yeah, it looks like we're doing a modified strat here to kind of avoid taking...
Oh, no. And it looked like he was handling it well.
Yeah, and just...
second. Yeah, looks like he forfeited. Man, that's a really rough one.
It's so hard once that fight goes just a little bit too slowly because normally what we saw Shiva do was damage boost through there so that you don't really give the eyes as much of an opportunity to do anything. But when you kind of don't kill them quickly, all of a sudden you have 2, 3 eyes moving at once. It's just a lot to keep track of while still trying to do damage. And it looked like he was approaching it pretty good, but just walked into an eye that kind of was coming back towards him, which is hard to keep track of, right?
Yeah, there's so much going on. You're just trying to get hits in as fast as possible as well. It's so hard to find the proper balance between speed and safety.
So yeah, from here, unless Shiva also forfeits, Shiva does need to finish this run to be the winner. And hopefully he's looking at the race room and knows not to forfeit at this point.
Hopefully. He said something in race chat, so... so he does know. So, we're definitely going to need the brain math now as well. Also, this quick work is free. Because we're going to have a freeway tiebreaker now for first place. So I'm not actually sure who's going to be in what group now? Or, like, where in brackets?
Yeah, I mean, you can use the exclamation point bracket to bring up the bracket, but since we're finalizing groups up a little bit here, and since every kind of match will affect the setting of the bracket, we're going to need, yeah, like we said, a bit more math here to figure out everything exactly. thing about Turtle Rock too is that no matter what kind of pace you're on, whether you're feeling good about the run, feeling bad about the run, you can just die.
Oh yeah.
3 times. Sure, it's like
you can have rough chomps. You can just have like a Pokeball flying randomly. It's
yeah, taking it a bit safe here, stopping the mirror, which is fine. I mean, it's like it's a couple of seconds at this point. You're just trying to get through the run, right?
yeah.
Okay, I'm jumping in here real fast. I'm going to be switching scenes to the single player view, so it's going to go black for a moment. Give me one moment.
All right. Right during chomps.
Oh, chomps, please. Yeah. So chomps are.
We got there.
That's all you can really ask for. Oh, there's that Pokeball. At least it missed.
Okay, yeah, okay. And I have to quickly refresh. I think I'm a few seconds behind. Alright. So...
big thing here is definitely going to be the arrow count. Like we mentioned earlier, unless we're getting the 10 arrows in GT, this arrow count is not
a little sketchy.
Yeah. You also get lucky with Pokedrops here. It's 4 drops away. I think it's 4 drops away.
It's actually the last drop in the prize bank.
So it's 6 drops away. Never mind. We could still get it. You could win a 1 in 6 here off both these last 2 Pokies, but that's not going to happen.
Unlikely, yeah. Yeah. At this rate, looks like he's having pretty good to the rock. He still has an outside chance of PBing as well, so...
Yeah, hard to say. I don't know how much time he has to save in these last couple splits. It doesn't look like too much here in Turtle Rock compared to his golds, but this is a dungeon that honestly you kind of tend to gold pretty big because it just doesn't line up, right? So like your skill level typically exceeds what your gold says.
Yeah. Yeah, this really is one of those few splits where it's in chunks of 4 or 6 seconds suddenly.
Yeah, definitely.
Or 10.
More than 1. Unlike Swamp, which is typically 2 frames at a time.
Yeah, exactly. I would have dashed a little bit quicker this time.
Yeah, it really is just so much about like, we're coming up on laser skip here. If you're 1 pixel too low, you take 5 hearts of damage, and sometimes 9 if you get 1.0'd. So like,
that's never happened to anybody ever.
It's just like your health just disappears in this dungeon, and then it's tough to play it out because you are low health and everything's super scary.
Looks like we're quickly joined by relkin. Yo, GG, sorry about the death. Was actually a relatively close race until then.
Yeah, that slug didn't want me to finish the run.
No, I really didn't.
Yeah, that's really rare movement as well. Just going left and straight up there. That was really rough to handle and react to in time. But yeah, between like getting that many blue balls, and you were actually really close to Shiva, so you were putting up a really great fight. And like even like being behind, like in Link to the Past, you know how runs can end and how you can get like again an infinite and all that. So I think you can be pretty happy about how the run went overall.
It seems like I've like not gotten Hammer on first try in like the last 4 runs, and somehow I'm managing to PB in all the runs that I'm doing.
That's a good sign at least. So.
Yeah.
Gotta keep potential time safe for the next round.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like that really got my nerves shaking the entire time, every time from that EP nonsense, the big key chest.
Oh, right, that happened as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to just like stay calm, right? It feels like the end of the world when you're playing this game like against somebody else and not just for yourself. Shaking off stuff like that, like that's half the game. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
But even despite that, 2-1 in groups, that's really good showing. Looks like you improved your PB about a lot right before the tourney started. So, and like you're saying, you still have time gains for the future as well. Feeling pretty good about brackets then?
Yeah, I'm actually curious now that it's going to be a death triangle. What does that mean for brackets? Who goes where?
We don't know.
Okay.
Somebody get Boyne on the line.
Yeah, so supposedly it goes by average runtime, so I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna look. I haven't looked at like all the race results and lined it all up. Just looked a little bit about how things could look, but I don't know. We'll probably see after all the all the async races finalized as well, I think.
Yeah, let me see if we're waiting on any async still. Looks like one, maybe just one. Yeah, it looks like just one more match after this one that we're waiting on in terms of async stuff. And then once we have that, unfortunately with the way the brackets are kind of laid out, is you need to know basically everybody to know where people are going to be seated. So once that comes in, I think we'll be able to finalize a lot of results.
Okay, yeah. Go for a little bit of slower start here for the Mike arrows.
Yeah,
But does get them, but does realize that he needed the arrows, so that's a good sign. And Boyne and Chad laying out what needs to happen for Shiva to get the first seed. Needs a 131.17.
Which he is on pace.
Yeah. He did have a little bit of an issue with Gavin during the weekly, but stuff like that never happens twice in a row.
Definitely not. Nope.
No.
Now actually we have a ton of arrows. So that 10 chest really does make up a lot. Oh, we really have a lot of arrows now.
Alright. Well. Maybe he wants to do bow and arrow Lamo too as well. Just to conserve magic. Who does manage to get past the Igor? I think there was a spot where the red Igor could have moved left, but was all okay.
I like bow Mo. I'm still never. If I've got the fire rod, I'm using it.
What a surprise. Well, interesting upside shot there and then dashing down.
Yeah, it's been pretty good gauntlet here. Generally, gauntlet goes well if you don't lose too much health, and then also if you do it at least kind of fast. We didn't lose much health, so that's always a good sign.
Very nice Lamo as well. This is oh dang. Jump at the bonk. This is potentially gold pace. If he has a solid top of GT.
I don't know my timer coming through that door, but I do know it going into torches. So I think you're right. It does look to be about good gold here.
It's like 713 pace. That's really good. This is a really good GT.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with having to wait a little bit for the mic arrows. And yeah, 7 bombs here. So Shiva opting not to kind of throw away all his bombs. A lot of times you'll see people do that just so that they don't have to think during the Ganon fight. And our practice hack for this game, you don't have bombs in the Ganon fight. So you get used to not having bombs in the Ganon fight.
I'm all in through as well. Not getting bullied. So, pretty sure that. Oh, okay. If he has free cycle, it's at least like. Yeah, it has to be a 1x.
Yeah. I also don't know where Shiva splits. Shiva correctly splits on back crash or incorrectly on link landing.
Oh, dang. Gonna need a triple here. Oh, this is good RNG for it. Oh,
nice.
he got it!
That looked like those hit at the same time.
Yeah, I was convinced. Well, if you ever want to finish him off.
You know, Shiva's bringing up a very good point here. Why can't we slash the bat? Get a few hits in early on Ganon.
Yeah, actually, never thought of that.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there
you go. And this gives him an outside shot at PBing here.
Yeah, if he just gets triples and stuff, he can take like 4 or 5 warps.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that 12 hits?
I think so.
Okay. I don't count. I like counting sets. And I thought the first hit might have been a little bit early. Okay. Opting for torch glitch. I respect it. This is...
Yeah. You hate to see it. Ooh, did he charge it in time?
Oh. No. So yeah, you are able to get 1 or 2 spins early on Ganon there. But you do have to be charging your sword quickly after landing the hit. Oh, yeah. First cycle is a little bit different here. That was the correct fire rod timing for any other cycle. But the first one here, timing's a little bit off.
Yeah, just taking it easy here. He's not getting friendly warps though.
No, not at all. These are really hard to get triples on, even if you've done this fight hundreds of times and practiced it a bunch.
Yeah. A really, really nice run from Shiva. Considering what happened in the first 2 split of the Dark World, it's coming all the way back, having outside shot at PBing. It's Put some GGs in chat. Finishing off with 128.04? Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, nice run. All right, so what we do know is that this puts Shiva first in groups. He does meet the requirement we saw. So
That's right.
it doesn't look like the bracket is fully updated just yet, but it does look like it's getting filled out kind of as we speak here. So I believe it will be released tonight no matter what. Because groups start tomorrow. Or brackets start tomorrow, rather.
Yeah, let's get right on scheduling. There will be a couple of runners that are going to have a couple of buys, just waiting for the rest of the brackets to finish Batman. I think that puts Shiva at 5-2, right? Yeah.
5-2.
Yeah, like seed 5-2. I guess the second highest seed as in the middle group winners.
I don't know who won Group I. Did John Rossums win Group I?
Oh, that's right.
Who won Group J? All three of these are 2-1. Group I, J, and K.
I just assume the one on top wins.
If it says final, then it's in the correct order. Ah. Okay, so Group I is... Alright. Winner there was Pika Pals, so, and then Liam. So yeah, Shiva will be the second highest.
Hello.
5 seed. Hey.
Yo, Shiva, GG's on the win. Nice run.
Yeah, thanks.
Really good comeback. Like, with outside shot at PBing. That's
Yeah,
nice
I
goal.
never thought it's gonna be close to PB after Skullwoods. I was 40 seconds behind. But yeah, Ice Palace went really well. Also, Swamp was okay. Meyer Gold and GT was incredible.
GT was really good.
Yeah, I was really surprised about this GT. I was 32 seconds behind after Turtle Rock. I thought it's over to BB, but GT went so good. I had 1 cycle Lanmo and 2 cycle Aga in my gold, so I didn't expect it at all to gold this, but yeah, especially the gauntlet was really good.
Yeah, you handled stuff really well. And yeah, some good RNGs. Being able to get a nice 1 cycle. I really didn't think that you were gonna 3 cycle that Aga too. Like, I think both Dow and I were pretty sure that like the last 2 hits were like counted as 1, but then Aga did, right?
I thought the same. I also thought, okay, with this pattern, I'm never gonna get the triple hit, but I thought maybe if I can delay the hit a little bit and walk back to get some space between them, and it worked out. It's pretty nice. Very
nice. Yeah, then suddenly just getting warped on again, missing a few spins, but like still getting that close in a tourney race is a really nice run.
I think the warps killed it. Mostly the warps. Also the execution again wasn't the best one. I mean, the first 2 cycles were okay, and I missed the early spin, and also was really nervous with the menu to the lamp. I was thinking about that menu like 10 seconds before I did it, and I fucked up. Yeah, but it was a pretty good run. I'm pretty happy to get a run close to my BP in this tourney. Just for every other race was pretty trash. I died and lost a lot of time in every segment, so I'm pretty happy. I think the weekly also helped out a bit. So yeah,
we were. I was kind of wondering how the weekly was going to impact it. Either it would make you just feel like kind of chill because well, I got the disasters out of the way, or it would make you really nervous about Ganon.
I was happy for Tanvir that he could beat me, so it was fine. I mean, weeklies are no reset runs, so it's everyone can win this. A lot of forfeits, and yeah. Also, you had some trouble too, I think, because
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be a weekly without it.
true.
Yeah, got middle hold and then I got 7 blue balls and the rest was okay. But yeah.
I just want to thank relkin for giving me the chance to get a second try, because yesterday I forgot about the race, and yeah, he gave me the chance to get another race going today. Thanks for that.
Oh, that's really nice of him, yeah. Yeah, unfortunate stuff that happened in Maya for him. He was actually really close. Considering the difference in PBs, he had a really good showing.
Mhm.
Yeah, one death could have changed everything in this race.
Yeah, that's definitely how this tourney has been as well. Like there's been quite a few upsets.
We had plenty of close calls this race too, so like
Yeah, both like Helma was pretty scary for some. Like yeah, Pod in general, I guess, was lots
My
of
pod
incidental
was
damage.
a disaster. It was horrible. I lost like 1 minute in not a whole minute, but like 30 seconds, I think. A little bit of the time loss was from the blue balls, but yeah, it was a really bad pod for me. I think I should re-practice pod because it's a disaster every time.
Yeah,
Thanks also to you for the commentary. Really appreciate it, especially such good runners.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, I mean, I've seen quite a bit of both you, like either from Rando or NMG, and it's like a lot of fun watching people improve and being able to commentate for you is a lot of fun then. So, like with the win, you're actually the winner of your group as well. So you're gonna have a bye in the first round, a little bit of a break.
couple of days.
Couple of days. Yeah, I guess with the speed that Buen expects us to get the races in, it's not going to be a whole long of a time. But yeah, congrats on the group win.
Did relkin already play for versus? I forgot the name. Wait. just a
Yeah.
second.
At this point, we're only waiting on, I think, one asynchronous match result.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I expected to not win the group because of the one loss I had. But it was a really funny race. I was kind of upset about it, that I lost it. But it was a really close race. I had a death to Modular and came back. But in the end, we were heading GT at the same moment. And he performed better than me. So I think he deserved the win. And it was a really nice race. I had fun, even if I lost.
Yeah. And in the end, that's what tourney should be about, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, I feel pretty well about the win. And yeah, let's see how the seeding is going for me.
Yeah, like with the way that brackets are lined up, both brackets look like there's going to be some really tight matches coming up, and it should be a lot of fun watching everything.
All right, ready for me to wrap up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
sounds good.
guess.
Yep.
All right, so with that, I want to thank our runners. Thank you so much to shivahaze and relkin for the awesome race. Thank you to our commentators, Ari and Deo. I hope I at least got the short versions right this time. My tongue is not friendly with some of these things. Coming up on the ZSR schedule, we only have a few things scheduled for this week, but I'm sure that's going to change once brackets get underway. There's going to be a lot of them happening, so look out for that. But for now, on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, And bear in mind, for those of you not in America, we've had daylight savings time, so that changes the calculation, so please be aware of that. On Tuesday, we have the Opening of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Lower Bracket Round 6 between Relkin and Riley. And on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we have another Opening of Time Randomizer match Winners Finals between the Salty Sponge and What the Hell Happened. So that's going to be a hype match. And on Saturday at 2 p.m., we have a Skyward Sword Randomizer Tournament match between Matchstrats versus Ebu and Floha258 versus Your Average Link. Those are going to be broadcast on the same restream at the same time. Those are the key things on the schedule for now. Again, like I said, brackets are getting scheduled shortly, so we're going to have a lot of Link to the Past content for you this week. Look forward to that. And with that, we're going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!